This video is brought to you by Alienware, featuring Intel Core i7 processors. Start gaming.
Welcome back to the Battlefield 4 CTE and the remastered Battlefield 2 map, Dragon Valley. Before I move on to some Conquest gameplay, I want to show off a few changes to the team deathmatch layout of this map, which of course is a copy of Noshahr Canals. If you haven't seen my previous video on that, then check out the link in the description, or you can click the icon in the top right hand corner of the screen now. As you can see from face value here, not much seems to have changed, but when you dive into the crates, you'll see a few lanes have been altered. They're now closer to the original layout of canals. The middle cut through has been re-added, along with some assets like concrete blocks, which now block a few angles of sight through the alleys. One thing as well, along the front of the crates near to the train yard, the long line of crates has been broken up and you can now no longer see from one side of the map to the other, which I think is a good move to stop people camping that out. But sadly, the long inside channel crate has not been opened up yet. The space around the crate still feels too big and not really what I expect the final map to be like, so let's hope Dicelay are listening and they shrink this thing down a little bit. Remember, if it ain't broke, there's no need to try and fix it. Just before I move on, I want to mention that all the footage was recorded on my Alienware 15 laptop, running a mix of medium and high settings here for the CTE, and some people wanted to see the full unlock potential of the hardware inside the laptop, so I removed the 60 FPS in-game cap via the command console. I'd put that in when I first downloaded the CTE, so you can now see a true frame rate representation. I'll be doing a review of this laptop next week, and yes, I know I've been saying for a while that I'm going to do a review, but I have been super busy. If you're interested in learning more about the Alienware products, there's a link in the description. But back to Dragon Valley and onto the Conquest gameplay I was talking about. And we're going to be looking at perhaps the best section of the map for me right now, the central island that holds the vast temple and a hilltop pagoda. And these are the C and E flags on Conquest respectively. And as I said, these are awesome flags to battle over. The section of the map is mainly infantry focused, with heavy vehicles likely going to find it hard to get up the steep hill onto the top. It isn't impossible for them to do it, and if you happen to get an Amtrak up there, then you can give yourself a pat on the back. That thing is a mobile spawn point for the rest of your team, so if you can get it hidden behind one of the walls, then you're likely going to flood out the enemy team and take over that flag. The whole location is really engaging as an infantry player, especially the C flag, which offers a lot more cover than the E flag and lots of vertical gameplay, as you can get onto the roofs of the temple and shoot down into the flag capture zone below. You can flank right round the outside with the cover of the pathway and a couple of walls as well, and you can mount a back rage from there. And of course you have the fairly well covered courtyard to fight in the centre, which can be very difficult to hold, but does make for some really interesting battles. This contrasts really nicely to the E flag, which you have to go down a grass hill and back up again to get on top of another sort of point on the hill in the middle. And there's basically no cover on this hill at all. There are some like large rocks that are there, but other than that, you're pretty much on your own. So if you see players sort of sniping across to the C flag, you have to try and take them out before you go out into the open, because otherwise you will just get slaughtered. And that brings me on to quite a good point actually, and something that I want to mention to you guys, because if you were disappointed by the Noshahr TDM style area that's been created for this map, then to be honest, I think you will have more fun here, and you get to help your team out as well. If you want to stick to the infantry gameplay, then you have the C flag and the E flag to control on that island, and for as long as you can cover both, you'll bleed enemy tickets, providing the vehicle-minded players pick up the rest of the flags around the outside of the map. It is a rather big map, admittedly. I'd say the only real danger that you really need to consider are the helicopters and jets as they strafe across the two objectives, especially the transport chopper, which makes for a perfect attack vehicle if you're going for infantry style, because players can just spawn in and then parachute down onto the objectives. And if they're going for the C flag, they're likely going to end up on the roofs, and that can make it a little bit more difficult for you to take them out. But overall, this section is a really engaging point on the map, and there were so many battles that went on here. Just within one round of conquest, someone would take one flag, we all run up there and try and take it back, and of course they've looped around the back and taken the flag that we've just taken, so we're having to run backwards and forwards. And of course you get massive groups of infantry just coming up over the hills and hiding behind rocks or up on the roofs. There's just so many different styles of gameplay within what is a fairly small section of this map that I think it's a really engaging section, and if you like infantry play, you're probably going to enjoy it quite a lot. As for the rest of the map, not a huge amount has really changed. A cool fog effect does roll in during the round, which reduces visibility and brings gunfights in a little bit closer. It is harder to see much further than about 150 meters or so, which makes sniping a little bit more difficult, but as I said, I can't see too much more different with the rest of the map, but then maybe that's okay, because I don't really think it needs much tweaking. The map is really fun to play on for infantry and vehicle-minded players. There's a massive open space for air vehicles. There's plenty of room for ground vehicles to battle it out as well. And there are, I think, 8 objectives on the map, so there's plenty of places for you to pick to have a battle. And, well, if you can hold down one section for the whole game, then any of those sections that are available will offer some different style of gameplay. So Dragon Valley is shaping up to be a really cool conquest map, and I think probably the best thing to come to Battlefield 4 out of the extended period of development. Actually, I don't know if I want to say that, because the jungle map is pretty awesome as well, but the TDM zone of Noshahr Canals, or Dragon Valley, it's really difficult to try and get that right, but that is getting there. It just should be a carbon copy of Noshahr, and as much as it possibly can be with the assets that we have in Battlefield 4, and I'm really excited to see what Dice LA do with Rush on this map. Apparently, they want to make it one of the biggest Rush maps in the game. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Alienware for sponsoring the video. There's a link in the description, as I said, to their site where you can check out the Alienware 15 laptop and all of their other products as well. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about this Dragon Valley remake, and don't forget to leave me a thumbs up as well. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.